Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast to guide you home into your human journey here on Earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and it is my delight to co-create with Gaia and share our messages from Source in this now moment. Here we go. Episode 437. It is Friday morning here in Cincinnati. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're ready for a hot, gorgeous weekend again as we wrap up July. Normally I record on Thursdays, and it has been a week full of activity and beautiful time with family and friends and clients. And so here I am on Friday morning tuning in as we sit in the middle of this new moon in Leo energy. I recorded all of my new moon content yesterday, so there's a really fun tarot card reading video that is up on my YouTube channel and a guided meditation that I will put the links to below in the description for you waiting if you are ready to play a little deeper in new moon energy. And then tonight I'm hosting a new moon circle. So I'm right in the middle of all of this, focusing, tuning into this beautiful brilliance of Leo. And what I thought might be of value today in the podcast is to name how I feel about it, not reading the energy of it with the cards, but just like how I'm personally navigating the shift from Cancer into Leo, and then the sort of calling forward the initiation, the new beginnings, the ways of showing myself more that I'm experiencing in this new moon in Leo, and see what matches you have, see what ways it inspires you or motivates you to also be a little bigger, a little more brilliant, just like we talked about in last week's podcast episode. So the way I described it in a post on Instagram this week is it feels like peekaboo. It feels like we show ourselves a little bit on whatever platforms or spaces, we like to share our lives and our stories. For me, this podcast is one of the most transparent and authentic and playful spaces that I have. There's no money attachment to it. There's no hook like you have to listen to do this or to get this. It's just this pure transmission of love. And so it feels really easy for me to show up here and look into the video camera and share my story, knowing that you're on the other end of it, watching or listening to it, and then receiving and activating whatever energies show up for you. So this is like a super easy space for me. Facebook doesn't feel as supportive and nourishing as it used to me. So mostly I use Instagram as like a social media space where I would talk about my life and then share my work and promote my offerings. It's where I have my business structure of selling is through Instagram. And I have a small following right now. I have, a lot of people that I follow and that follow me, but it's not like a thriving marketplace like for some people. And so there are times I share something and then I feel like I'm pulling the cover back down and going, now you don't see me anymore. And then I pull it back. I'm like, here I am. And then I close back up. No, I didn't say that. I don't know. Do you really want to see that or know that about me? And so it's a little awkward still. It's like I am vulnerably sharing a story or an aspect of myself, and then I'm not like coming back in and going, oh, I don't know. And so it's an interesting playground for me to play in. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. How do we present who we actually are in a social media space, not just the pretty picture that looks like we have it all together, which is what social media often appears to be to me. It's like the best of what we experience and none of the struggle, none of the disappointment or the emotions of it, just this pretty picture of what's the best about all of us. And and also learning how to word things in ways that are authentic without being triggering, where you activate. I mean, I want to activate emotions and experiences for people, but in a healthy way, not in a wounding way, not in a way that really pulls someone down into a deep spiral. And I've noticed some people use the words like trigger alert as they're starting some of their posts, and then they name what the trigger could be, which is an interesting way to communicate. So there's a lot of things that I'm exploring, and I think social media is a beautiful teacher of that and a beautiful space for us to share how we're learning things and what's happening. So yeah, why did I start on Instagram? I guess it's about the transparency. It's about the ways that we feel safe expressing ourselves. And we were in this Cancer energy for a long time, right? Like cocooning in and feeling like our inner selves and taking care of our inner child and tending to some of the wounds and the hurtful spaces and nesting and calling in those around us who make us feel safe and nested. And so there's a lot of like inward, nurturing, beautiful Cancer energy that is so lovely and also can really take us into some deep emotions. And so if you think about the crab, that's the symbol of Cancer, right? That's all like tucked in tight and just scurrying along on the sand. And then you think about Leo and the energy of the lion that's big and wants to roar and has this like, wow, energy. The transition from this little tiny crab to this really big, loud lion, like that's a big jump. That's a big shift to go from little bitty to like, wow. And we do it every year. We make this transition every year from Cancer to Leo. And yet this year, for some reason, I was more aware of it. I could feel how I was so inward, and then, who put the light on? Who turned the light on in the space? And where did this lion come from? And what happened to my little safe shell? And why do I have to be out in the light? It was very bumpy. And I don't know if it's because of all the other aspects that were going on in astrology, if it's just the time on our planet right now and the way that humanity is just struggling to work through so many deep core shit that we haven't for a long time, that we wanted to hide and avoid. But it really felt intense, or like being pulled, being stretched. That's a good word. Like really being stretched into a different visibility. And so I named that in my Instagram post, like, here's how it feels. And I'm going to trust that showing up and sharing serves me and serves you and is of the highest integrity for all of us. And also sometimes it's a lot. And when I tapped into the new moon in Leo energy, which you can watch the video and I'll give you a little couple clips of it here. It was so interesting how the energy flows through in those tarot card readings, and then it just carries into the extended reading and it carries into the meditation, and it's just this like beautiful momentum that flows through me. So that's available if you decide you want to play with that. But what was so interesting is that the very first card that showed up was the schizophrenia card from the Osho deck, and it shows this chasm, these two sort of precipices or edges of a boulder, and there's a person suspended at the top of those two precipices, and the person is just hanging on, toes on one end and fingers on the other end, and just suspended, and there's this huge fall down to the ground, and they're just like holding it all together. And the card in Osho, he talks about, schizophrenia is of the mind, being so afraid that you're going to do the wrong thing or make the wrong choice. And so you just stay in this suspended state. And Osho's wisdom, the Zen wisdom, is let go of both at the same time. Let go. Let your fingers loosen, let your toes loosen, and just free fall. I mean, that's my word, free fall, but just free fall into whatever the experience is going to be. And he says, if you if you don't know where your heart is, or how to access what's true in your heart as you're suspended in this position, when you let go, you're going to get your heart activated. You're going to feel your heart because it's going to be racing. It's going to be beating so fast because you're falling. You don't know what's going to happen. And I love that, that advice or that wisdom. If you don't know what's happening in your heart, just surrender and let go and leap into some experience, and you will feel what's happening in your heart. It will activate this like whirlwind of emotion, and things will just start moving, and suddenly you've gone from your comfort zone, your safe space, your known way of being, into something totally different. And that's the crab to the lion. Right? That's the crab hiding in my shell and wanting to be like so comfy and so safe and just know exactly everything that's going on and not worry about being surprised or pushed. And then all of a sudden, here's the lion, rah! Like, scaring the crab. The crab jumps out of its shell and starts scurrying along. But suddenly you're alive. You're in a different vibration. Your frequency is shifting into something new, and new is always, what is the right word? New is always going to push you. Change is always going to nudge you. You're going to discover something else about yourself. You're going to explore, discover something new about the world, about this human realm. New, while it's terrifying, can also be exhilarating. And when we stay in our small, comfortable spaces, and we don't leap into something different, we're going to keep getting the same of the same of the same until we try something new. And I think many humans, myself, many times in my own journey, like we like same, we like safe, we like crab, we like shell, we like comfort zone. We don't really want to do new. New is too much. Too overwhelming, too exhausting, too difficult, too unknown, way too unknown. And so we keep ourselves in these energetic positions, like in the schizophrenia card. We keep ourselves in these energetic positions that are exhausting for our mind, body, spirit, that completely deplete our adrenal system, that lock us into this fight, flight, or whatever it is. Like, we are locked into an energy that is overstimulating for our bodies because it's holding something that is not actually good for us or not actually sustainable for us. But because we know it, and because it's familiar, and because we see so many other people doing it, we stay in that energy position. And why? Sometimes it's like the crab. Maybe the cancer crab is like sitting at the edge of the ocean, and, right at the edge, but there's like a boulder in front of it. And the crab is just sitting there thinking there is no ocean because all I've got is this boulder in front of me. So I'm just going to stay here in this lack with this boulder. And I don't realize on the other side of that is this incredible ocean. But I'm just going to stay right here in this position that I know that I'm frozen into, that feels safe, that feels cocooned, feels good. Right here's good. It's as good as I need it to be. And on the other side, oh my gosh, there's like hundreds or thousands of other crabs that it could be playing with. It could be swimming. It could be surfing the waves. It could be floating on top of the ocean. It could be finding all kinds of, I don't even know what crabs eat, but all kinds of good food in the ocean. But instead it's stuck in this position and it won't move because this is what it thinks is the best. And so I think that schizophrenia card shows that so well. It's like you could stay suspended in midair doing this thing that you've known for a long time, or you can just completely let go and surrender and free fall into something new. And maybe what happens is this crab to the lion energy. Maybe the lion isn't there to eat you or destroy you. Maybe the lion is there so that you can, as the crab, land on the lion's head and like go on an adventure in the jungle or be carried to the water and dropped in the ocean. Maybe the lion is the bridge into something new. I know I'm using all these images, and maybe they make sense, maybe they don't, but they feel fun to me when I when I see the crab and the lion playing. So if that's the energy we've been in, right, this familiar, safe, even if it's not good for us, experience, and here comes this Leo energy that says, let's shine a little brighter, let's get into our hearts and feel more courageous, more connected. Let's express from this place of inner brilliance. Let's share who we are, share our light, share our magic, share our wisdom with more and more of the people around us in our world. That transition can be bumpy from crab to Leo. And sometimes what is helpful is when we hear what is on the other side, like that image of the crab with the boulder and the oceans on the other side. When we have someone who's saying, hey, I know it looks like you're in a good place, but I see the boulder that's blocking your view of the ocean. So can I tell you about the ocean? Can I tell you about what's on the other side? Can I share with you how beautiful and magical that reality is if it would encourage you to come around the boulder and take a little peek? Take a look at what's out there? And so here's my voice saying to you, let's talk about what it's like to be more brilliant. So, for example, on my Instagram post, I don't engage a lot on Instagram because I just haven't quite figured out how to do it in a way that feels real. Like post in the comments and blah, blah, blah. I don't talk that way. So it's just kind of an interesting way to write. And so what I did for the post that I shared about peekaboo and being seen is I just spoke into my phone and recorded what I was feeling as if I was speaking to you, like I do here in the videos and the audios on my podcast. And I just said, here's how I'm feeling as I feel into being seen more, being more visible. I was about to co-launch with a couple friends of mine, this giveaway. I'd never done a giveaway before. I'm like, how do you even talk about a giveaway and share about it? And it's all this new stuff. And so I just felt like, what am I experiencing right now in my body and my mind as I step into more visibility in this social media platform that I'm still not very comfortable in? How do I feel? And so I recorded it, and then I wrote it from my recording. I wrote it into an email, and then I just posted it. And I had no attachment of, I'm going to get all these comments, even though I said, if you have any comments you're feeling, share them. I wasn't like, here, and then what's going to come back to me? It was just, here's how I'm feeling. Ugh, it's a lot. It's a lot. And what surprised me is people responded. They actually replied. And some of them said they feel the same way. So I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, now we're having a dialogue. Now we're having a conversation. And how fun that feels to know that I'm not by myself. I think when we're the crab hiding in this little place that we think is so comfortable and familiar, and there's this boulder in the way, and on the other side is the ocean. If someone was on the ocean and calling over to us like, it's really pretty over here. It's so quiet, or the waves are so soothing, or do you know that there's like an abundance of food over here? If we had some energy calling over the boulder and telling this little crab like, hey, come over, maybe we'd be more willing to change. Maybe that schizophrenia wouldn't feel so isolating. The second card in my card pull was postponement. It was for the collective now. Like, why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? Who are we waiting for? Just do the thing. Step into the reality that you want to create. And it shows this person looking out a window. And in the window image, like through the window pane, is this gorgeous paradise with all these colors and beauty. And then where the person is and the window inside, everything's gray. And so you can see that there's all this awesomeness outside, and then here's this person stuck inside is the image, not doing anything. And so Osho's wisdom is Why are you waiting? Why are you postponing? Like, create it, call it in now, be in that reality now. And that feels like the same message as the crab and the lion in the ocean. Like, here's the lion. Maybe the lion is so big standing by the boulder that the boulder is actually like a little tiny stone to the lion. And the crab is like itty itty bitty. And so the lion can go, little itty bitty crab. That boulder is like so small. And on the other side is this other whole world waiting for you. What are you doing? Just come around. Come around and like go swim in the ocean. I feel like that's what my soul has been saying to me. Like, quit being so afraid of being transparent on social media. Quit worrying about all of that. Just share your journey, share your life in little bite sizes that feel good to you. Just push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And then see who has resonance with that. You're not the only one. I am not the only one feeling the way I feel in this world of 8 billion humans. And technology is this incredible bridge. And while it feels good to me to do it in this little container of Gaia's love, in the space that I've created that I love so much, there's another space I can do that in. And so do that, right? Like, start doing that is the message that my soul keeps saying. And what might happen from there? Well, I might really meet some beautiful soul humans who feel the same way I feel. And then we get to have these cool conversations on social media about what it feels like to be the crab and what it feels like to be the lion and what the ocean looks like. And how our hearts beat really fast sometimes when we share something and we're like, does anybody else feel like this? How that whole process of sharing humanity, sharing the humanness of the soul journey, like, that's such a gift. It's such a beautiful way to walk this life, instead of being by ourselves and isolating and hermiting and being afraid. I had a beautiful conversation with a friend this week about, how she pushes herself to be in social settings when it's really uncomfortable for her. She feels really awkward and isn't sure she's saying the right thing, and then judges and doubts how she said the thing that she said. And I feel like so many of us do that. We maybe push ourselves to go into a conversation or a community or go to an event. And then when we're there, we're like, I don't fit in, I don't belong, nobody's like me. And so maybe we try say something, and then it's so awkward and we're like, oh, why did I say that thing? And now that person thinks that I'm this or I'm that. And then we go back home, we're like, I should never have done that. That was a terrible experience. Why did I say that thing? And then we ruminate over that in the crab shell. We're like, oh, why did I leave my crab space and go in the ocean? It's also silly. It's also silly. So here's the behind the scenes of the photo that I shared on Instagram. I was sharing this with another friend. So this post about playing peekaboo, about sharing who I am, but also like, oh, do I really want to do that? It was a picture. The picture I used was of myself. And it was taken at 1:00 in the morning at this bar at the end, which I'm never out that late, at the end of this amazing evening of my stepdaughter getting married. And it was just the most perfect, beautiful day, weekend. We were floating high. It was so fun. And we went from the wedding to a bar to have some desserts with some family, and then decided at midnight we were still hungry, which we never do because I'm never out that late. And we ended up at a bar having pizza and drinking some beers together. And I was dressed up and also like giddy and laughing at the absurdity of life that we can have these beautiful evenings and still end up at a bar having pizza and beer at midnight. And so I put the phone up and I snapped a picture of myself and my husband, and I just had this look on my face like, this life thing, it's so funny, it's so silly, like, what is this life thing? And so that was what I was feeling as I took that picture, like, here we are at midnight at a bar. And so I shared that image because I liked the irreverence and the laughter that was coming from my eyes and my body language in that picture, like, what is this? What is this life? I loved that feeling. And so the feeling matched the post, and it just felt good and true to me. And so that was what I shared. And I think when we can laugh at ourselves, even when we're like, I screwed it up, I didn't do well, like the schizophrenia card, I let go feet and toes and fingers all at the same time, and I fell, and guess what? I landed flat on my face, or I did a backflip and belly flopped into the pool. When we can just laugh at ourselves, like, yeah, that was kind of funny, and I'm still here, and I'm still learning, and I'm gonna keep sharing, and maybe we'll figure it all out and be amazing together, and maybe we'll all just sit in a circle and laugh together for the rest of our lives. And that wouldn't be a bad way to live life either. So I think the imagery of the lion is so sweet. You know, I often think when I tap into Leo energy, I think of the lion in, multiple movies, but specifically Wizard of Oz. You know, this big scary lion that like is so scared. Scary to other people on the outside, but inside is so scared. And all the lion wants is the heart, right? It wants the heart, the courage to like roar. And the journey that the lion goes on to discover that. Is the lion the one that wants the heart, or was that the Tin Man? Should probably watch the movie again. They all jumble together in my mind. All I remember is how Dorothy just wanted to go home. Yeah. So the beautiful card at the end of the New Moon in Leo card reading was the experiencing card. And so we moved from schizophrenia, let go, free fall into this human experience and see what happens. And right into postponement. Don't wait to do that. Like, do it now. Create that reality now. Live that moment now. Leap into that experience now. And then the last card, the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, was the experiencing card. We are here to feel, to experience, to be in the beauty and the magic of this human journey. It's amazing. And the picture is a woman who's connecting with a tree. It's almost like she's one with the tree. And so she's breathing and experiencing life fully. And isn't that the complete opposite of schizophrenia? It's like we're not going to be suspended in midair, terrified to do anything and to change anything. We're just going to be standing on our feet, grounded and present and connected with the tree, and having this energetic movement back and forth of engaging with the world around us. What beautiful wisdom, possibilities as we make our way through this next month until the next new moon. So, new moon in Leo, shine your light, be brilliant, tap into the magic that sits inside of you and begin sharing that with others around. The reason I did that post that I shared earlier was because my friend and I were going to be participating in this giveaway. The giveaway is called Deep Magic. Deep Magic. And it's by these beautiful magic makers, these women who have their own way of sharing their brilliance and their light. And there's 6 of us total, and we each have different gifts, offerings that we contribute into this one little package that one person gets to win. And they're beautiful. They're amazing gifts. One of them is an energy reading with me. And so all you have to do is like follow all of us and tag us in Instagram. Expand your circle, build community. And when you do that, you get entered in this giveaway. So one person is going to win this whole beautiful little package of gifts. So if you're on Instagram, I would highly suggest going to my page and signing up for it and following all those beautiful witchy people and see what magic you can receive, what the activation that is going to happen in the person who receives all of these gifts that are contributed with so much love and so much support for all of us on this journey together. That activation is going to be beautiful. And that's new moon in Leo energy too. right? Like, let's expand your brilliance. Let's support you. All of us come around, these 6 women come around, whoever's going to win this package, and activate more magic in the winner, and then see where they take their magic. And so we're all pinging and doing this beautiful thing together. So yeah, new moon in Leo, that's what's happening. The meditation, I thought today I would be actually doing like an activation of the third chakra, because to me, Leo is very much about expressing who you are, like really tapping into that brilliant yellow sunlight at the core of the third chakra. And so I had a sense like maybe I'll do a guided visualization of that. And yet I feel like the imagery of the crab into the lion does that. It's like we expand, we become bigger when we have those two images of the animals that are transitioning energetically. But the meditation that I created is, it was really beautiful. There's an extended video after the 30-minute video that's free on YouTube, which I'll put the links in. There's an extended video where I really tap in and I ask our guides, like, okay, tell me more about this card. Tell me more about schizophrenia. Tell me more about experiencing. And so the wisdom that flowed through those cards is like next level awesome. And so that video includes the meditation as a bonus, and the whole thing's $11. It's like amazing new moon money for you to spend. But the meditation was a really, really peaceful visualization or process of harmonizing your body, your mind, your soul, like bringing all of that energy into a grounded space within yourself, and then feeling how the mind can start to support the body, can start to soothe the process of being the soul in the body, instead of this resistance and fighting and the schizophrenic feeling, in the mind being pulled in all these different directions. When we bring our energy into our body and we land it inside of ourselves, and then we give the mind the assignment, do this, follow this, check on this, look at this. The mind is so focused on the body, your body, that it doesn't have time to worry and loop and judge how you behaved at that event or in that conversation. The mind is in the body, supporting the body's movement of energy. And when your body and your mind are in harmony in that way, then the soul just comes forward, and the soul is like, oh, let's remind you of your brilliance. Let's tap into what your guides are trying to say to you. Let's remind you that you're on your path and you're living this journey beautifully, and everything is good. It's always good. Let's keep you in that harmonic state, because when we navigate from that place inside of ourselves that is so steady and so true and so authentic and so genuinely on track with our soul's purpose or mission in this life, things just fall into place. Everything just gets easier and smoother. There's no scurrying around like the crab trying to figure out if there's a boulder or the ocean. There's this easy movement of a lion that's just in its element and running through the jungle and knowing the path and going in the direction that it most wants to go with no resistance. So that meditation awaits you if you are looking for support. Yeah, I am going to wrap up. I got an energy gym call in a little bit, and then a new moon circle tonight, and a family reunion this weekend. And it is a beautiful completion of July. It has been a magical, amazing month, and I'm so excited to see what August is going to be bringing forward for us. So I wish you an incredible weekend of magic and play and joy, and a really peaceful transition with this new moon in Leo. So much love. Mwah. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Facebook or Instagram in a community I call the Gaia Tribe Reunion, where we show up together to share our soul's gifts, what we came here to Gaia to contribute to humanity. You can learn more at viviennegerard.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.